time whenever the session starts. And in the outer layer, we have applications. Okay. So basically, hardware, just consider it as a motherboard, CPU, RAM, processor, hard disk, or whatever is inside a computer, laptop, all those things we can consider as at consider as hardware. And what is the kernel? So kernel, excuse me, kernel is a core part of a operating system, which can be Windows, which can be anything, any other OS. But in case of Linux, the application which is managing the CPU, RAM, or any peripheral which is attached to your motherboard or your PC is controlled by this kernel. So normally in Linux, kernel are basically developed in C programming, C or C++. Okay, so basically kernel is directly controlling the hardware. Okay, and kernel is just a program. Okay, uh, and kernel is not doing anything by its own. It's a default program. Whenever system starts, it boots, it get started. Okay, same like your Windows. Windows is started, you see the desktop. So now to control the kernel, to control the hardware, we have shell. So shell is nothing but this is nothing but this is shell. Shell is, in other words, you can say shell is an interface from where you can control the kernel as well as you can control the hardware. Okay, and on top of that, we have applications like if you see the Windows, we have Teams application, we have WhatsApp application, we have Instagram application, LinkedIn browsers. All those is considered as a application which is getting installed on top of your hardware and kernel. So basically, being a DBA, we have to understand two, three things very, very carefully, or we should go into the depth. First thing is hardware. So being a DBA, what kind of hardware that we should understand and we should be good at. Okay, at least the basics should be clear. Okay, so first thing you should understand what is CPU, and then RAM. Formally we call RAM as a memory also. Okay, memory. Then you should understand disk, and then network part and logs. Sorry, logs might not come here. This is the wrong category. CPU, RAM, disk, network. These are few common things that you should understand to work with Linux. Okay. In the shell, basically, we have two famous shell is available. One is sh and another is bash. Okay. So you can work with anything. By default, bash comes. So we will work with the bash. Bash is like, this is nothing but bash, where we are just running the commands and everything. So you should understand how to go to the bash or the interface. So let's suppose you have a Linux server up and running in USA. How I can access that machine in India? How I can control or console or log in into that machine? What is the common practice that we do? Anyone? What is the common practice? So this Linux server must be having some IP, right? So what we do? We simply SSH, right? In Linux, we have a command called SSH. Even in Windows also, we have a command like SSH, right? Everyone understands, right? SSH and then the IP of my remote server. Remote server. Like that I access, right? So basically when we access, we get a bash or shell interface. And on top of this bash and shell interface, to manage my Linux operating system, I'll run some commands. Like if I want to list the files, I run ls commands. If I want to see the files in least recent time tag output, I use a switch called LRT. So now my files are showing in the this particular format where I can see files, honor, privilege, date, uh, year, and the file name with the extension like that. Okay. So what I am doing here currently, I am running my command from here ls. ls is getting interpreted by kernel. It is going into the hardware and it is going and logging into the disk, whatever disk I am currently, where my files are stored, and it is showing me the output of ls command, right? That's what is happening here, right? When I run, excuse me, ls command, technically from the shell, I have fired ls command. Kernel has interpreted that particular ls command into some machine language which hardware can understand. Hardware is connected with my disk, and under the disk I have all the files residing, right? So output of this ls command will be the output of my disk from where all the files are residing. So currently I am on which directory? I am on this particular directory. So whatever content are there of this directory, it is visible here. So this is the very basic high level idea of a Linux operating system and the kernel, how it works. And being a DBA, we have to just handle few things. We are not going to work completely on Linux, but my recommendation is as much as you can understand the Linux, it will make your life easy. Okay. So the mandatory part is CPU, RAM, disk, network, all those things. In the same way, on the kernel level and the shell level, you should also understand the logs. What kind of logs are getting created on the Linux operating system, which we can use for further Postgre or database related troubleshooting. Okay, so all those things is important. So for that particular purpose, I have created a specific document which I have already posted in the channel today, just to give you an idea that what are the important commands that we are going to talk about today. So before I go ahead, any doubt, don't hold your question. If you will ask any silly question also, I'm fine, because your learning is very important. I have not given you very high level architecture of the Linux, but at least just to start or understand the Linux operating system. Any question before I go ahead? Anything comes like which is not clear? Anyone? All clear? Everyone is clear whatever we have talked about the Linux? Okay. So we are just installing the database as an application on top of Linux, and being a DBA, it is our duty or key responsibility area to manage this database. Database can be anything. It can be MySQL, it can be Postgre, or it can be MongoDB, Elasticsearch, anything it can be. Okay. So our main task is going to manage this database application on top of the Linux. Okay. To manage the Linux to manage the Postgre on top of Linux, we should understand about certain commands. Okay. And the more you understand the command, it will be very easy for you to understand the overall database structure, database related stuff, and also you will be able to handle the database related troubleshooting effectively. Okay. So the first thing is I'm not going to teach you everything. Otherwise, what will happen? You will get confused. Okay. So now let's understand only the basics, because basics are enough for anyone to start working with Linux. Okay. So what are some basic concept that we have to understand? The first thing that we should understand is basic Linux navigation. Okay. Like in Windows, we know the basic Windows navigation, right? We know where is the file explorer, where is the browser, where I can see whether my network is connected or not, how to connect to Wi-Fi network. All these common things we know, right? So which is nothing but navigation, right? To to work with Windows, we understand the basic navigation. In the same way, to work on the Linux, we should understand the basic navigation. So in Linux, we have two kind of navigation. Same like Windows, we have two kind of navigation system. First is graphical user interface, and another one is CLI, command line interface. Okay. So graphical user interface is nothing but the way I'm handling Windows, using the graphics, using the icon, using the options, using my mouse pointer, which is considered as a graphical user interface. CLI is nothing but where I'm writing the commands, I'm executing the commands, and I'm just executing all the step according to my requirement. So which is nothing but CLI. Okay. Uh, so these are the two navigation interface that we should understand. Okay. So the first thing, like when we are doing the basic navigation, some of the few things that we have to understand. First of all, once we are into any of the server, we should know in which particular directory we are in. So for that, we have pwd command. So pwd is telling me that I am under root and root folder. Okay. So in Linux, slash is nothing but C colon, same like your Windows. So slash, under the slash, everything starts. If I do ls minus lrt here, I will see all the folders related to root. The moment I will go out and I'm in the root, I'm in the root folder, and if I do ls minus lrt, I will see all the files which is under the root file system. And root file system is the main file system, same like your C drive in Windows. Okay. So in the once you are in the root, you want to see how many files are there and you want to list all the files, you can use ls minus lrt or ls minus h. Okay. So it is what this command will do. This command will list all the file and directory with the size and date and permission level. Okay. Hello. Anyone is trying to speak? Like, okay. CD. What is CD command? So CD command is nothing but, let's suppose I have two directories. Let's suppose I have two directories, dir1, dir2, and I want to log into any specific directory. Let's suppose I want to log into dir1. So I'll simply say cd dir1 and I'll be in the same directory. Okay. In case if I want to come out from this directory, I will simply use cd and dot dot. So I will be outside from the directory. I will come out from the directory. If I do cd dir1, I'll be in the same directory. Okay, whatever name I have given after cd. In the same way, if I want to remove any directory, I will simply say rmdir and the directory name. So I will say dir1. So currently I am in the same directory. Now let me delete this. So my directory is deleted. Can you see dir1 is gone. In the same way, we have cp command. Cp command is nothing but how many of you are like just to make this session short, How many of you are extremely new for Linux, or you understand little bit, or you are, at least intermediate or expert level? How many of you are like mean to say like they are working with the Linux first time? Anyone? Or just raise your hand. It's fine. If everyone is like, if everyone knows about Linux, then I can just talk about these commands and I will focus on the main commands. Is that clear? Or can I go ahead with each and every command? Can we have a small vote just to respect the time?
Talking
We can go
about the
for
main
only
command
basic.
should be fine.
Sorry, I was not able to hear you properly. Yeah,
A main command should be fine. It's my
main
vote.
command. Okay, okay. What about others?
Yeah, my
Yes,
also
main commands, sir,
my vote
because
is
these are
main
basic
main
commands.
command.
We are aware.
Basic commands. Yeah, you are aware. Okay. So let me tell you a few things. These basic commands, anyhow, I have shared the document. I think there are a few commands that we will always save our life. The first command is head command. Let's suppose I am seeing a very big Postgre log file and I'm interested to see only head of the file, okay, or tail of the file because the file size is already 1 TB or 500 MB. I don't want to see all the file content which has happened in the past. I am currently interested to see what happened today. So what I will do, if I want to see what happened today, I will simply say tail minus f. Okay. So what tail minus f, what tail minus f will do? Minus f switch is going to show you continuous incremental insert or update or delete or whatever is happening with your log file. It will show you in the screen. Okay. So which is very important. If you want to see what is the top content of the file, let's suppose I want to see 20 line of my file, initial 20 line, I will simply say head minus n represents number and 20. So it will show me the 20 lines of initial file. Grep command. Let's suppose I want to grep any specific error or something. I will simply say grep or grep minus I and error. Okay. So one very important thing you have to understand, Linux is case sensitive. So if you if you give the your grep string statement in capital, it will only search in the capital. So let's suppose you want to disable this case. What you can do, you can simply say grep minus I, and in this case it will not bother about any case. Okay, so you can simply use minus I. Okay, also tell me one thing, I want to grep multiple things from a file. How to grep that? Anyone?
Pipe
I want
command.
to, okay, pipe command. So can you give me the command, like how I can grep multiple things?
Grep minus I, suppose
Mhm.
errors. Then
Grep
there's a
minus
pipe
I, error, then
pipe.
pipe, then grep minus I, right?
Yeah.
Same like that, right?
Yes.
Minus I, sorry, minus I, then warning, something like that, right? Something like that. So
Yeah.
let's say it's for messages. So what is the shortcut format of this? The shortcut format of this will be egrep. So egrep, what I will do in the egrep, I will simply say error, pipe, warning, pipe, failed, pipe, and then file name. Can you see this? It is faster also comparing with this. See this command versus this command. So these are some important small tips and tricks which can make your troubleshooting to the next level. Is this clear? Whatever I have just did. Can someone explain me what
Yes.
what this command is doing? This command is
This is
gripping.
filtering out all the lines which have
Very
error
good.
warnings and failed keywords
Correct.
in this particular messages file.
Messages file. Perfect. So this can be also used when you want to find a process, multiple process with some string name. Let's suppose I want to understand how many processes are running with the name of error warning failed. You can attach it with your PS command also. Okay. So this is one of the thing. Another important thing. Sometime what happens? We want to understand how many times these kind of error happens. Okay, so let's suppose I'm worried to know like how many times today I got error. Okay, so grep -c also plays a very important role sometimes in our troubleshooting. So what it does, it gives me a count of particular error or warning. Okay. So let's suppose I say failed. So how many times my system in my log file I have failed? I have 43 times. So what could be the real time scenario of this command where I can use this? Anyone? Use case, business case, real time application case? Anyone?
Or in like database terms, if our DB is getting shut down or something went wrong, so
Correct.
we can check the logs for those specific
Correct.
keywords.
Correct. So let's suppose every day I get 43 default error message, 43. I'm not worried about these 43 messages, but I'll be worried about if this is +1, mean to say 44. So I can put a logic or I can put a automation saying that when my error is more than 44, send me a alert log, right? It can be done, right? Like email -u, something like that we can do, right? So if I can put some condition here. So for those kind of scenarios, these commands are very important. Okay, when you're writing the shell script or something. Awk command. What awk is going to do? Let's suppose I have df -h output, but I'm not interested. I have totally 1 column, 2 column, 3 column, 4 columns, 5 column, 6 column. I'm not interested in all these 6 column. I'm only interested in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th column. So how I can get the detail of my 5th column? I will simply say awk df -h awk print 5 awk print $5. So in that case, what is happening? It is going to give me only which particular column? 5th number of column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th number of column. The moment I will say 6, it will give me the detail only for the 6th level of column. Are we using awk? Everyone was using awk, or this is the first time? Who saw this first time? Or who's using, like, who was not aware of the awk before? Anyone? It's
Me.
fine. Okay, very good. So like that, you can use the awk command and you can filter out the specific column or specific line of the command. Set command is nothing but if you want to replace any string with the old string with the new string. Vi or nano, it's a very common command that if you want to edit any file, let's suppose I want to edit a file on Linux. Let's suppose I did a touch and file1. I want to edit this file. I want to add some content. I will use vi command. What is the diff command? Anyone? Diff command is used just to do a diff or difference between one file to another file, like that. Okay. So like that, I have created another category called permission and ownership. So in the Linux, we have Linux works on a different model where we are using for every file, we have permission and ownership. So whenever you go to the Linux and you do ls minus lrt, it gives you a Linux file and directory level permission. Okay, and these permissions are nothing but to access the file. I have sent you the document. You can read more about it. As we have discussed that, we are just going to talk about some important command only. Okay, lsblk. I think this is an important command when you want to understand how your disk is connected with your Linux operating system. Can anyone understand this output of this lspk command? How many of you understand this?
Partly
So
I understand.
Okay, everyone understands? Just do a small vote. Everyone understand what is this? So can I explain this? Can I explain this
Yes.
command?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Yeah, please.
so basically this command is telling me lsblk. Basically it is telling me list the block level device. Basically whatever block level device is connected with my uh, operating system, show me that device. Display block devices. So it can be disk. So currently in my uh, on my machine, on my desktop, I have a single disk which is having 10 GB of size and it has 4 partitions. So which is equivalent to your disk management of the Windows or Linux, of your Windows 11 operating system. So there what we do, we buy a hard disk. Let's suppose I buy 1 TB of hard disk, 1 TB of hard disk. This is my hard disk and I have segregated it between multiple partitions. So basically the whole hard disk is what? The whole hard disk is SDA. So my whole hard disk is SDA. And under that, I have multiple partitions called SDA1, 2, 3, 4. So this is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4. In Windows language, C colon, D colon, E colon, F colon, something like that. And we took those partitions and we have mounted on these particular folders. Okay, folders are nothing but where I have connected to this particular partition and I'm using it to save my files. Okay, we have a separate section also for production planning. There we will talk about more about all these mounting and production planning and everything. Okay, so according to me, this command is very important. Mount command is also very important. Sometimes we have to mount the storage area network or the network file system and all. So mount command is important. You should understand. Df command is very important. Du command is also very important when you have to check the size of your directory and files which is residing under your specific directory. Okay. So this is the part where I think everyone should work on, specifically dmessage command. Okay, so dmessage command is a command which basically throws all your kernel level error. So kernel level error is the main heart of your operating system. So whatever will fail, either shell will fail, app will fail, or hardware will fail, whatever will fail, the error will get reflected on your dmessage command. Okay, so normally dmessage command is going to give you all the error. So how to read that? The first part is system timing. So current this green line is nothing but my system timing represented as a system number. Okay, if I want to convert this into human readable format, I will simply say -t. So all the number will get converted into date and time. Okay, so let's suppose, for example, if I have any issues with my Ethernet connection, I might see the error under this category. See, I have some SMB related issue and I'm getting error or the red sign here. In the same way, if anything happens to your Linux operating system, I think the first command that you should run is dmessage -t, so that it can clearly tell you what is going wrong. If your USB is not working, your hard disk is erroring out, your CPU is throttling, or your CPU is getting bottleneck or something, sometimes you see the error here also. If your operating system is getting with any bug or something, you can get the dmessage command. So mean to say all the system related information you can see in the dmessage command. Okay, it shows you all the kernel related thing. Uptime, basically if you want to see from how long my machine is up and running, you can simply say uptime. This is an important command for a database administrator. From last 6 minutes, 6 to 7, sorry, from last 42 minutes my system is up and the current current timing details and all. Okay, in the same way, I think in this category these commands are important. Rest is like just basic commands. Process, this is the another important category where every DBA should understand all these commands. Okay, I'm going to give you some of the important command and some of the commands you might already knowing or using it. Okay, so the top command, what is the purpose of top command? Anyone? What top shows?
It
What is the
shows
purpose?
the
Utilization.
resource utilization of
Resource
server.
utilization of server. So a normal administrator or a layman administrator just use the top command, but top also have so many shortcuts. Let's suppose currently I am seeing a default top. The moment in my keyboard I will type M, my top command is going to be converted memory wise. Can you see this? Like that, top command have multiple keyword shortcut and which you can run and you can see what is going on inside your computer. So basically in the Linux, we have PID. PID is nothing but process ID. We have user. PR is nothing but the particular process. NI is nothing but nice command, virtual, res, HCR, S, CPU, memory, time, and the particular command that is running on your particular Linux operating system. We will have more discussion on these commands when we will do the performance tuning. So we will discuss about all these NI, var, res, SHR, S, all these things when we will run the SAR command also. When I will teach you SAR command, right? So in that time, that time we'll discuss about all these columns also in detail. So htop, why I have mentioned htop, why top is not going to fulfill my requirement, or what is not there in the top which I'm getting in htop. So htop is more advanced command than top. So majority of the time top command just gives us the brief information about top process. But let's suppose I want to understand what is the nested process or what are the other processes that are running on the system. So what I will do for that particular purpose, top command is not sufficient. For that I use htop. So htop is not by default available in your operating system. You have to install it. So let me quickly install it and show you that how it works. So 1 second, install htop on Rocky Linux 8. How I come to know that my operating system is Rocky Linux 8? What is the command? How to test it? How to check that? Anyone?
Cat etc OS release.
Very good. /etc OS release. So this command gives me the name of my operating system. Okay. Also, you can run uname -a also. Okay. So this gives you a detail, same detail. Okay, so let's see if I don't have htop. So currently htop is not getting installed. What could be the issue? Anyone? Why I'm
Like
not
yum is
able to?
not yum not there.
No, yum is there, but to install this particular application, I don't have the repository. So what I'm doing, I'm using the open source repository for the Linux to install my command. Is this clear? Open source
Sir, how we
library.
got to know yum, like yum is there but repository is missing and something like that?
Because by default, if my operating system have the repository, this command might have installed by default. The moment I will say right dnf install htop, it will get it will get installed. But see what is the error? Unable to find the match htop. It means my operating system does not have the repository to connect to install any commands. And what
Now
is
we have installed repository.
correct? We have installed a open source repository. Anyone understand this? What is this? Can someone explain me what I did? What is this EPEL release? What is this? Anyone? What is
Sir, I think it
EPEL?
enterprise Linux release, like it holds all the packages that
Mhm.
like enterprise, like in RHEL terms I understand,
Mhm.
like whatever Red Hat have released packages for that
Hmm.
particular version, so it holds all those packages.
Right. So all the extra packages that is required for Linux. So there is a dedicated repository, which is like open source repository, where I have all the packages related to Linux, is called as a extra package for Linux, Enterprise Linux, EPEL. So by default, whenever I install a operating system, in case if I don't have the repository available by default, I can use this open source library. One interview question. What is the disadvantage of using EPEL or the public library? Anyone? Why we should not use public libraries?
Sir, like a version will change because whatever is your current operating system and these
Mhm.
packages version may be somewhat different.
Okay, let me change my question that you will understand what I'm trying to seek here. Why we should not use Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi? Why we should use private Wi-Fi?
It can be insecure, basically, the
Very
EPL
good.
packages.
Very good. So EPL package are just a repository. If someone has injected unwanted software, and let's suppose this is my production server, and I have installed this htop directly to my system, and if it is containing any beacon virus malware, then my Linux may get impacted. So whenever you are installing any packages, make sure it has installed from a proper repository or your company provided repository. Is this clear? Whatever I have just explained. Another thing, why we don't download any APK file from a XYZ repository and install in our Linux, Android operating system? Why we don't do that? Why we just get the app from Google Store only or Play Store or Apple Store? So same difference is here. If you are getting the packages directly from the internet, 99% nothing will happen. But in case if 1%, if there is any virus or something, your system may get impacted. Okay, make sense, everyone?
Okay, fine.
Yes.
Okay, so another thing is like what is the another command that we should be worried about? Htop is installing. I'll show you. PS command. It is showing you all the process related to whatever process is running on your Linux operating system. It is showing you process related to that particular application, binary, or whatever it is. It could be application, it could be binary, it could be any daemon process or whatever is running. I'm just canceling it for now to just show you the grep command, and then I will show you htop also. So like this. ps minus ps aux grep post. So currently what it is showing? It is showing that all the process aux is nothing but I'm passing a switch, okay, and aux is giving me, I'm gripping from the ps minus aux, I'm gripping the post string, and these are the string, these are the processes which have post word, these process containing the post word. So this is nothing but Postgre related processes which is running on my Linux operating system. Okay, makes sense. This makes sense. So ps minus aux is equivalent to task manager of your Windows, where I see what is running on my machine. Okay, so this is the small representation of task manager. Makes sense?
Sir,
Okay.
I have a question here.
Mm-hmm.
Basic question. If you can switch to, sir, what are these IDs like 2819 and 251444 and 36?
Yes, we'll come to that also. We have a dedicated discussion for that also. When we will do the performance tuning related thing and all, right, we will discuss about all these things. We'll discuss about this SS, time, inode value, and everything we'll discuss. So just for now, just understand that it is showing you a process. And when we will do the performance tuning and OS related tuning, I will explain you about all these values. Okay. For now, just understand that this is a process which is running with this particular process ID. Okay. And this is the master ID of that particular process. Okay. So it's like that. I'll explain you everything. Don't worry. This is just a very basic one, and I will explain you everything in the detail. VMstat. What is VMstat? VMstat is nothing but it is just monitoring your performance related to your virtual memory. Okay. And what is 2? 2 stands for every 2 seconds. It is monitoring your memory related statistics. Okay. We will also talk about VMstat when we will do the performance tuning of operating system. Okay. So see, every 2 seconds it is showing me the swap, free, buffer, cache, SISO, BI, BO in CS, all these values. So these values we'll discuss what is the swap, what is free, what is system ID, SO, buffer, cache. We'll discuss all these things when we will do the OS level performance tuning. Make sense? At least this one. Can I tell you what is this related to? This is related to your task manager, performance, and then memory. I want to see how what is running inside the memory. So VMstat is nothing but memory. So here also in every few seconds it is counting, right? How much memory is getting utilized. So this is the same command. You can say in the Linux, this is the same command which we are using. Rest of the commands I think we can skip, but let me tell you few more things that is important. LSOF command. It is another important thing. Anyone know about LSOF command? What is LSOF? Any idea? What is LSOF? So LSOF command is a command which shows you how many files are open in your system, and it is opened by which process, or I think LSOF is also not installed. So let me quickly install htop, and then we will install LSOF also. Why this is taking too much time, right? Normally it installs very fast. Okay, no problem. So in the break, what I will do, I will run these commands. Let me see if I can install LSOF quickly. Okay. So LSOF command is going to tell me that which particular process or files are open. Let's suppose this file is opened by which particular process or which particular user. LSOF command can also be used for checking the port is open or not. Let's suppose if I want to see how many ports are open in my system, so we can use LSOF command. Everyone understand about this sentence to check which port is open on my system? Anyone? Anyone? Is everyone
like
clear about?
of like whatever port we are talking about, like MySQL port 3306. So is this port listening? That particular service is like will that service will listen on to that particular port?
Correct.
We are just
So
checking the connectivity.
very good. So basically what happened when Linux was getting developed, they have identified a problem. In that problem, they have found that in case if I am installing a application, let's suppose I have installed XYZ application and this is application 01. If I want to communicate with this application, let's suppose I want to communicate with application 1 and then application 2. So what is the best way to communicate it? What are the common way that I can communicate with my application normally in a very high level? Anyone?
Using
IP.
Who said
APIs.
Very good.
I said IP.
API. Someone said IP. Okay. So if my system's IP is 192.168.1.5, if I'm using API and IP, this might create confusion, right? If I hit this particular IP, I will get response from these two or none, right? Or I will get mixed response, right? Hypothetically, it will not happen, but hypothetically, just to understand the concept. So what is the other way that we can develop? So they have identified that if we want to communicate with a single endpoints, logically, we should assign some kind of number. Okay. So let's suppose my app 01 is running on port 80. My app 2 is running on 8080. Let's suppose I have installed Postgres. So what is the default port for Postgres? 5432. So this is nothing but for accessing these services, application, daemon, program, I have assigned a logical number to them. And from the outside, if I will call 192.168.1.5:80, which application will respond me? From where I will get the response? Right here, right? Will I get the response from application 02? Anyone? In that case, I'm getting any response? Anyone? Is this clear, first of all?
Yes.
Yes.
So in this case, I'm getting response from application 1 over the port 80. So what I did, I have created a logical segregation or logical partition between my server and between my application. Now, in the same case, if I run /API, will I get any response? No, I will get 404 or 405 or something like that. But the moment I will say 80/API, will I get the response now? Yes or no? Everyone? If I add
Yes.
my port also, I will get the response. In the same way, so ports are nothing but a logical number or logical partitioning for each and every application. Let's suppose in an operating system, I have running multiple systems, multiple applications. To communicate to that particular application, I have given you the port number. And now how to see that which port is used for what?
netstat command.
Very good. So we can use netstat command in the netstat is also not installed. In the new operating system or in the new release, we also have ss command. You can use ss command also. Netstat, it is more powerful than netstat. You can also use ss command. You can also use nc command. nc -zv localhost 5432, like that. So nc is not there, so I'm not getting that, but you can also use nc command. So what is the output of this? TCP/IP listening on this. Receive queue, send queue is nothing but receiving and sending queue. How much data it is sending on receiving, the queues and all, and the local port. So currently my Postgre is running on any port :5432. Peer address. Do I have any peer address? No, I don't have any peer address. And this is the process which is running to this particular application. And which protocol I'm using? I'm using TCP. Is this clear at least? So my Postgre is running in this particular line, which is running on port 5432. Okay. So there are other ways also. You can you can understand that which port is for which particular purpose. If you simply go to the internet and just type the port default port and application name, you will get a list basically, which will tell you all the ports, whatever ports are available, like default ports. On the Linux level also, you can see these ports using netstat -a command. Okay, if netstat is not installed, we can also install it. Netstat. I don't know why it is very slow. This might be a repository issue or something. But so is this clear? At least port. What is port? A logical number or logical segregation between the application. Any other specific use case for port? Anyone? Why do we need port also? For this is the purpose for communication. What could be the other purpose? Or what could be the other concept? Anyone? Any idea what I'm talking about? It's an interview question. That's why I'm asking. Otherwise, I would have not asking this question again and again. So ports are also related to your security. Let's suppose in my operating system, this is my Linux operating system. If I go, every operating system has its own firewall. How many of you understand firewall? Or who's not understanding the concept of firewall? He can raise his hand. I will explain it. Everyone understand about firewall, right? So Dhirender, firewall is a basic filtering method where we are blocking certain IPs or ports from inside to outside or outside to inside. Mean to say, in this machine, if I block port 80, no one can access this machine outside using port 80. Okay, so Linux have its own firewall system, and under the firewall we called it rules. We can define the rule saying that deny localhost port 80. So in that case, whatever request will come for port 80 will not be served by this particular server. Okay. In the later part of the section, when we will do the remote connection of Postgre database, we will understand about that also, how to block the Postgre remote access, all those things. Okay. This is very slow. This is supposed to run fast actually. Okay, but no problem. So now, what is the next command that we should be bothered about? The next command is systemd related thing, and which is very, very important. Okay. First of all, what is service in any context? What is service? What do you understand about service? Anyone? It's important. That's why I'm asking. Because if you understand the service better, you can handle your applications better. Anyone? Okay, tell me one thing. When you double click to an exe file, what happens? You have downloaded an exe file and now you are doing double click. What happens in normal scenario? Anyone? Just
Sir,
explain me.
It extracts some files.
It extracts some file and it stores into a defined location. And once it is stored, it is starting a specific program, a specific process, right?
Yes,
This is
yes.
nothing but a process. I'm using WhatsApp, and WhatsApp is nothing but a process. Okay. Or it can be a group of process, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
And this particular process is, let's see, this particular process is running, might be running some kind of extra programs, right? And this process is running from a particular folder and file structure, right? Yes or no? Right? To run any specific application, we have certain ways, right? If it is a Java program, it will run differently. If it's a Python program, it will run differently. So services are on the Linux, services are nothing but combination of these kind of application, which we have installed to serve a specific purpose. For example, we have installed Postgre here. Like, first of all, how we will identify that Postgre is installed or not in this machine? Interview question. Anyone who is good
Using
with
which
line?
command? Which command?
Which?
Which and then Postgres.
Okay. Someone
So
said
no
just
Post-
now. Just someone said. So no Postgre. Okay. Someone said. What you said, like PS-MySQL here. Okay. Pipe. Can you explain what this command will do?
Like it will be stored the like ports and wall data directory, wall shared buffers, all that.
It is going to show you the, first of all, PS command is going to show the process. EF is going to show you the all the process, whatever it is, entire and full, all the process. Pipe will segregate the command. Grep will grep or filter the thing. I is like ignore the
Case sensitivity.
case sensitivity. And then Postgre is the string. So currently I have Postgre installed and it is running. So this command shows the running program status. Is there any other way where I can find that Postgre is installed? Your answer is 100% correct from the interview point of view. Any other way?
RPM hyphen
SQL
QA
space
pipe
hyphen
grep
Very good. RPM
pipe
minus
grep
QA
Postgres.
Postgre. So difference between this command and all is like this command is just showing the running state of Postgre. This command is showing you just install and remove kind of option from control panel that we see, right? Whether the software is installed or not. Okay. Tell me one thing. Another interview question. I have installed Postgre and I want to do some changes on my Postgre service file. First of all, service is clear. This is what? Services, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Group of services. And this group of services is serving what? This is serving what? Or this is giving me what? What I'm getting? Database or Postgre or WhatsApp or any operating third-party application. So tell me one thing. I want to see the actual service file which has started or spawned these programs or actually started all these things on the Linux level. What we do? We normally type systemctl list units type equal to services service. So what I am seeing here, how many services are installed and currently are they running or not? Active and running. Active exited. Active exited. Running means they are running. So what is the significance of this? What I am seeing here, what is so important in these black and white lines?
We can see like what all services are currently
This
running
line
live.
is correct. This line is very important for a database administrator. What he can read from this line is, I have Postgre 15 service running, active and running, and this particular service is responsible for what?
Postgres
Postgre 15
database.
database server. If I have a FTP server running, any other services running, I can see that also. So now I have identified that my server is running. Now, how to see the status of that? To see the status of that, we have a command called systemctl. So tell me one thing, if I copy paste this command, will I get the result?
Yes.
Okay, let me paste it. What is wrong here?
So you are specifically passing the version Postgres 15, something like.
But I have Postgre, why it is failing?
Sir, if you will just systemctl status Postgres, I think then it will work.
You are not understanding the basic concept here.
Okay, sir, basically this service is not like Postgres -14 service itself is not there.
Right. So what
The
service
unit file
name I
is
have to?
not available.
Okay. So I have to copy the actual service name based on my server. It's not like that I can copy anything.
Sir, ये तो बड़ी like this is good really, sir.
This
वो
is
जो
good, right?
last correct. That
This is
error we
fine,
have
right?
seen lot many times, but logic was not clear why it's not.
Okay, so logic is that particular service is not there. I have Maruti Swift, but I am looking for V2 engine. I have a documentation for V1 engine and I'm running all the command for V1 engine, but my Maruti is having V2 engine. Will my command will run for V1 command? Whatever is there in V1, documentation. No, it will not run, right? So you have to understand the basics of these things, like whatever services are there in your system and how they are defined, and based only that you can run the next command, right? Same way, if you have MySQL server running, you will see MySQL 5.7 MySQL server is running, something like that. And check the status. Now tell me one thing, another interview question. I'm so sorry for asking so many questions. Is that fine if I ask these kind of questions, or it's not good? You
It's
like
fine,
these
sir.
kind of questions?
Yes,
Yes, yes,
Because
it's fine.
these are the questions which is real time sometimes people are asking. Tell me one thing, now I have identified the service. Now I want to understand why, boss, what is there inside the service. So technically loaded is nothing but the service file which is loaded. So you have to simply go and cat this file, and this will give you the definition of your service. Can you see this? Description, where it will go and create the file, what will be the configurational parameters, how operating system is going to react. Can you see this? So this is nothing but service definition. If you are aware how to change it, you can also change it with using systemctl edit command. Until unless you are not very sure, don't edit anything. Okay. So you can edit these things also.
Normal VI command will not work.
No, normal VI. Edit is by default taking VI internally. This is VI only.
Okay.
So normal VI is not. No, normal VI will work, but you should not do normal VI until unless you are very sure. Otherwise, there are chances you can corrupt the file. And also, when you are doing normal VI to any file, make sure you take a backup. And then do whatever you want to do, you can do it. Okay. Is this clear? Before I go, before I take a break, small break, whatever we have understood, do you think it is going to be helpful in the future? Or I'm teaching you properly? It is good. Are you understanding all these concepts?
Yes, sir. Sir, one question, sir. Sir, like say for example, we have started a service. So service uses these files only like this in this,
It will
and
use only this file.
it will use this file, but this file is only being utilized at the time of starting of the service, and later it has nothing to do with it when the service
Nothing
is
to
running.
do with. Nothing to do with. Yes.
Okay. So if somebody makes the changes to the live system and he deletes this file or makes some changes, so system will keep on running until and unless there is some restart or reboot.
So definition file have two kind of parameters. So this is nothing but service definition file. Huh? So it have two parameters, static parameter and dynamic parameter. If you are changing static parameter, you have to bounce the service. If you are changing dynamic parameter, which can be into the effect right after you are changing, it will get changed. Are you understanding this?
Sir, I got this point, but my
Let's
question
suppose
somewhat different.
mean to say, what your question was, if you are changing anything to this particular, let's suppose my Postgres server is started using this definition. If I will change any parameter under this definition, will it come into the effect or not, right?
No, sir, this was not my question. That will surely not come into effect क्योंकि आपको restart service restart is required. My question was कि इस फाइल के अंदर मैं accidentally कुछ change कर देता हूँ कुछ भी willingly or unwillingly. Okay.
No, it will not impact.
It will not impact until the service is restarted.
Yeah. It will not impact this execution with this particular PID. But the moment you will bounce it, you will see the error.
Got it, sir. Got it.
Okay. But again, understand one thing. If you have changed any dynamic parameters, definitely whenever this service will call that parameter, you might started seeing the errors in the logs. Are you getting that?
If I'm changing some dynamic parameter inside the file.
Basically, do you understand the common concept of services or operating system, how applications are getting executed on the OS? So in OS, we have two systems, file and memory. Whenever you do execution of any service, basically these services are based on their nature, it is getting loaded into random access memory, right? These services
Okay.
are getting executed on your random access memory, which is your memory. That's why the server is started and it is occupied 25 GB out of 64 GB. So my services are already loaded here, right? And how many services are there? All these services, whatever is running, it is currently loaded in my memory. So in case if any dynamic parameter is getting changed by me, definitely if that dynamic parameter is very important or core parameter, then definitely my service will get impacted. Make sense, everyone? You people are not talking actually. You should talk.
Yes.
You should give wrong and right answers. Otherwise, this class is going to be driven by me or one or two people. Start speak. You can speak about anything. If anything comes in your mind, you should ask about it. Okay. At least from today onwards, all these things are clear. Whatever I have just explained, because these things are very, very super important. Rest of the things you can read from ChatGPT or YouTube or Google, but these basics are very important. Is this clear for everyone before we take a break?
Yes, sir.
Can we get a thumbs up? Okay, so let's take a 15-minute break, and I'll be back by 12:31. Okay, is that fine?
Yes.
Okay, everyone is good. We'll take a
Yes,
break,
sir.
15-minute break. Okay, just remind me about the recording. Okay, I'm stopping the recording.